That realization used to sting like windburn on bare skin, but after 20 years of loneliness, it had dulled into a quiet ache that lived somewhere behind his ribs. His land stretched wide beneath the New Mexico sky, scrubland and red earth rolling into the horizon like a forgotten promise. The fence posts leaned with age. The porch boards creaked even when there was no wind. And Eli, once broad-backed and bright-eyed, now moved slowly, his knees stiff, his beard turning the color of ash. He woke before sunrise every morning, not because he had somewhere to be, but because sleep didn't like him much anymore. It came in short visits and left him with memories he never invited. A wife's laugh, a child's unfinished room, a sound of footsteps that never returned. By the time the sun crested the hills, Eli was already outside, boots in the dirt, coffee cooling in his hand, pretending that today would be like any other, quiet, predictable, and empty. That was the day he saw them. 4 women stood just beyond his fence line. At first, he thought the heat was playing tricks on him. Visitors were rare, and strangers even rarer. But they didn't disappear when he rubbed his eyes. They stood together, close but not touching, their clothes dusty, their faces drawn with exhaustion. One of them held her arm as if it hurt. Another shielded her eyes from the sun, looking at the ranch house like it was something fragile. Eli's first instinct was to turn back. Not because he was afraid, but because loneliness, when it settles in deep, makes a man believe he has no place in other people's lives anymore. But then one of the women raised her hand, slow and deliberate, not waving, asking. So Eli walked toward the gate. When he opened it, the metal screamed like it always did, announcing his presence to the world. The women didn't flinch. The oldest among them, her hair streaked with silver, her posture proud even under fatigue, met his eyes. "We're Apache," she said calmly, as if correcting something he hadn't asked. "We're not here to cause trouble." Eli swallowed. "Didn't think you were." There was a pause. Dust shifted around their boots. Somewhere far off, a hawk cried. The youngest woman stepped forward then. Her voice trembled, but her eyes didn't. "We're walking north. Our truck broke down 2 days ago. We've been on foot since." Eli noticed then the cracked lips, the blistered hands, the way one woman leaned subtly against another. The older woman spoke again. "We don't need money. We don't need favors." She hesitated, just slightly. "We're only asking for one night. Shelter. Water. A place to rest before we keep moving. One night." The words struck Eli deeper than they should have. He hadn't had company for more than one night in years. The idea of voices in his house, of warmth that wasn't just from a stove, it scared him more than he cared to admit. But something else rose up inside him too. Something older than fear. Human decency. "You can stay," he said. The relief on their faces was immediate, but restrained. They did not rush him with gratitude. They did not smile excessively. They accepted his answer with dignity, and somehow that meant more than thanks. Inside, Eli's home smelled like wood smoke and thyme. He apologized instinctively, for the clutter, the peeling paint, the quiet. The women waved it off. One of them introduced herself as Lena. Another as Ruth. The younger two were sisters, Isabel and Mara. They moved with gentle purpose, helping without being asked. Ruth filled a kettle. Lena swept dirt from her boots before stepping fully inside. Isabel opened a window. Mara sat carefully at the table, wincing as she did. Eli noticed. "You hurt?" Mara nodded. "An old injury. Walking didn't help." Eli said nothing, but later he returned with a wrapped cloth, soaked in warm water and herbs his mother had taught him about decades ago. Mara accepted it without question. As the sun disappeared, something unexpected happened. Conversation. Not forced, not polite, real. They spoke of the road, of where they'd come from and where they were going. They spoke of families, some lost, some still waiting. Eli didn't talk much at first. He listened, which surprised him. It had been a long time since anyone had told him a story without rushing. Eventually, Lena asked him about the pictures on the wall. Eli hesitated. Then he stood and pointed. "My wife," he said. "Passed 12 years ago. Our daughter, softer now. Stillborn." The room went silent, not awkward, but heavy in the way truth is heavy. Ruth broke it gently. "Some losses don't heal. They just learn to live beside us." Eli nodded once. That night, they ate beans and bread and laughed quietly when Eli burned the second pot. For the first time in years, the house didn't echo. When it came time to sleep, Eli set up cots and blankets. He retreated to the porch, leaning against the railing, stars spread wide above him. He didn't know why his chest felt tight. He told himself it was just temporary. They'd leave in the morning. They always did. Morning came, but not as expected. Mara had collapsed during the night. Eli woke to voices calling his name. By the time he reached her, she was pale, shaking. The sisters tried to hide their fear, but it was written all over them. Eli didn't hesitate. He carried Mara to his truck, driving hard down the dirt road toward the nearest clinic, 40 miles away. He stayed through it all, the diagnosis, the treatment, the waiting. When the doctor finally said she'd be fine, with rest, Isabel cried openly, gripping Eli's sleeve like it was an anchor. "You didn't have to do this," she said. "Yes," Eli replied. "I did." They returned to the ranch late afternoon. The plan had been to leave that day, but now, there was no hurry. They stayed another night, then another. Eli found himself smiling again without realizing it. He taught them how to fix fence wire. They taught him songs their grandmother used to sing. Evenings turned into stories. Stories turned into understanding. One night, Ruth said quietly, "You weren't meant to be alone." The words broke something open in him. "I thought that was all I was good at," Eli admitted. Lena shook her head. "Sometimes life buries us until we forget what we're capable of." On the fourth day, a mechanic came. The truck was repaired. The women packed their things. Eli stood by the gate again. This time, his chest didn't ache. Before leaving, the women placed something in his hands, a small woven symbol, handmade. "So you remember," Ruth said. Eli watched the dust settle behind their truck until it disappeared. The ranch felt quiet again, but not empty. Weeks later, a letter arrived. Then another. Then people. Word spread. A man with a big heart, an open door. Travelers stopped. Help was offered. Kindness returned, multiplied. Eli Rollins never married again. But he was never alone. Because one night of compassion turned into a lifetime of connection, and reminded a lonely cowboy, and everyone he helped after, that humanity lives longest where doors remain open.